All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platter. Every time, I hope everybody is doing decent at least. I thought I'd go off and throw an episode up here for a little while anyway, do another shorty show entitling this Rainy Days and Mondays, which of course always get me down. I don't know. It's true though, actually. Mondays I'm usually off, but this is the last Monday I'm going to have off for quite a while. So flips next weekend here, and I'll be changing hours and such. So sometimes, whenever I do decide to do a broadcast, it could be later in the evening, possibly. I don't entirely know, but I just wanted, like I said, to pop on by for a little while anyway, and trust that hopefully everybody is doing decent. Um, hey Mick, how you doing? They went off into, the thing about living here in Arkansas, okay, in Northwest Arkansas, is they never can really make up their mind in regards to when a storm is really going to be happening here. Hey Tripper, how you doing? Good day to you. I started to do the little welcoming set. The thing is that originally they were like, oh, okay, well, they're going to go off and change the weather. Originally, they were talking about a crap ton of snow, and then they shifted it to, oh no, now it's going to be cold rain. Now they shifted it again. So the storm we're getting tomorrow was supposed to start around noon my time. Okay, that figures right in the middle of my damn workday. It's got to start, but from what they're saying is it's going to start around noonish tomorrow and go all the way through into Wednesday morning. So I'm just sitting here going, ugh. So I'll be stuck working tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe I'll end up having a snow day Wednesday. I really couldn't that much. It is, and yes, I know I've got up here, so I know it's going to be a little squirrely for broadcast, but I don't care. I'm only planning on being on here for maybe about an hour and a half at the most today, anyway. I went off and got me a reasonably priced tablet. We're going to try that trick next week. It should be arriving by Saturday, actually. Recommendation from my friend Donna Joe Cat Lady. That's right. Also want to put out there, although March is kind of still a long way away. Well, all right, fine. Maybe it's about 6-7 weeks. If this really is rock solid, I'll mention it a handful of times between now and then. It probably looks like I will be attending the 4-state record show in Springfield, Missouri. If you're anywhere near there, you want to come and see Mighty Psycho in person. Ooh. So if you're crossing fingers, in March, Springfield, Missouri, 4-state record show. We will bring that up more and more. I ended up, what was it? I was yapping with Concert Buddy and Miss 80s. I know there's one in Carthage in February, but I just don't see how I'm going to be able to pull that off. I've got family obligations, but we're aligning for March for that Springfield, Missouri record show. Who knows? I might be able to meet my son. My oldest son lives near there too, so we could have a record show in the morning. Go visit my kid. Go thrifting in the afternoon. Stop at Lambert's. Yum. Haven't been to Lambert's in years. Yes. Hello there, Greg. And so, exactly. So, possibly coming soon, a mini summit at the 4-state record show with Mighty Psycho. So, this I found out about within the hour. Rest in peace, Tom. That's right, the original guitarist for the Yardbirds, who, when he left, Eric Clapton, replaced him. Then, of course, years later, Tony Topham actually becomes a member of the Yardbirds again. I want to say it was in the O's. The O's or the Tens that Tony ended up being a member on. So you're talking 2 Yardbird guitarists, both dead in the same month of January. So that's kind of sad right there. That sounds like a plan, Paul. Yes, well, like I said, Tripper, we shall see on that, right? So yes, so rest in peace, Tony Topham. I'm trying to remember, out of all honesty, if he ever was on, anything. I wonder if he was on the Yardbirds album Birdland. I can't remember. I want to say Jeff Beck made an appearance on the Birdland CD. Oh yeah, I mean, let's face it. I don't even know when I tripped on the Yardbirds. Okay, it could have been. Might have been when I found out about Zeppelin. All right. And like I've mentioned before, in my past anyway, I want to say either Presence or In Through the Outdoor was the first Zepp album I bought brand new when it came out. So it was late 70s is when Zeppelin ended up in my universe. Well, then finding out, of course, about that, Jimmy Page, and they originally were called the New Yardbirds, and then all this other stuff. So I started exploring. But you see, for some reason back then in the 80s, okay, Yardbirds albums were not that easy to find. They just weren't. Even the 45s were kind of half difficult, unless they were the hits. Okay. But needless to say, as far as for American release, the only album I need left is For Your Love. So the first album. Out of the 40 plus years collecting, I've only ever come across it once. It was in mono, and they wanted $50, which, believe it or not, on the condition was actually a decent price. I just didn't have $50 at the time, or I would have pulled the trigger and bought it. This was at an antique mall. And so I thought, because sometimes when I go to these places, all right, when I go to the thrift shops, sometimes the real flea markets, I haggle. There's nothing wrong with haggling. One of Psycho's taglines is, you always ask, whether or not it's at a garage sale, hey, you got any records? I don't see any at the garage sale, but you got any records by chance? Or, hey, I like this album. This is pretty cool. I see your price, but how about this price? 9 times out of 10, it works for me. But this time, the guy only was going to haggle about 10%. And I'm like, even though, sure, okay, $5 off the price, which would have been the sales tax, I just still didn't have the money. So, and in fact, I know where it is, at least last time I looked, if it's even still there. But For Your Love is the only Yardbirds American release I don't have from Epic Records. I've got all the rest, courtesy of Alan and his record collection, rest in peace, and just various other ones I've gotten in trade over the years. So, Psycho Paul Kantner. That's right. Paul Kantner and Sid Anderson died on the same day. Of course, Sid Anderson is the original singer. She was only on Jefferson Airplane Takes Off from early 1966. Yeah, yep, that's right. That's why I put that there. So, oh yeah, that brings, what, I'm glad you brought that up about Kantner and such there, Dave. Of course, David Crosby passed. A lot of people have gone off and the prayers, the best wishes, the acolytes, and lots of stories I've read from various musicians that were in big bands or small bands in the 60s, 70s, and 80s that had interaction with David. I've read his books. I think he made 2 of them, if I remember correctly, maybe more, but I read his 2 books. And even though, yes, he was kind of very brutally honest on himself in the one book where he's talking about his drug years, okay? Really good musician, just a lousy human being, okay? I mean, I've got several people that I know that he hated autograph chow hounds, okay? Now, I'm not talking the eBay dealers and the flippers, all right? These two people I knew personally that were Birds fans, Crosby, Stills, Nash fans, okay? And they wanted an autograph, just one, or, they might have brought one or two items. That was it. They weren't going insane. And these stories are from the 90s. The first one, David Crosby went and tore whatever it was. I want to say it was a poster in half in front of the fan. And then the second person, when he asked kindly, and they were both polite, by the way, these two friends of mine. And the second one, he politely asked, and David Crosby chuckled and then said, "Fuck off," and walked away. And I'm just going, dude, you know what? There's nicer ways of saying that you don't want to do an autograph. Okay. You don't need to be a prick about it. So, and I say that about anybody, not just David Crosby, but, like I said, really good musician, crappy human being from what I'm gathering. And it's not just the two stories I'm talking about. I've read some others too. And, I mean, it's just too bad. That really is. It is what it is. He's gone now. So, but that's what we know. Yes, that's right. Members of Airplane were on his first solo album. Him and Jefferson Airplane and some of the Grateful Dead, he was tight with back in the day. There you go. I did not even know that Yorma went off and did an RSD 2022. Oh, okay. Yeah, and you know what? It really used to be. He never really used to be. I don't know if he started being that way when Cross was doing it, or it was before then. But Neil used to be half decent with the fans, but he's also started to. The nice guys of the bands I always heard was that you got Graham Nash was like the nicest of all of them, followed underneath by Stephen Stills, as far as for fan interactions were. And I still would like to meet either of those fine musicians. I do happen to have a signed Graham Nash print that was included courtesy in his last solo album. I got it at Barnes and Noble on a pre-order. But yeah, so now the band can go off and start calling themselves Sin. And I know you're going, what? This came into my head the other day. So Sin, Stills, Young, and Nash. That's right, SYN, Sin. Don't throw things at me. HD. But oh yeah, put that together and do I'm calling it. But the thing is about oh wow. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I have not read that book. I know what you're talking about. I haven't read the book, but that figures. Okay, that just not damn figures. Like I said, look, all right, if you're polite and you have one or two objects, I don't really see a problem with it, okay? As long as you're not hounding them. There's two places you don't hound any famous people or anybody in general: while they're eating in a restaurant, and two, when they're going to the bathroom. Those are no-nos. Anywhere else to me is fair game, okay? That's just me. Oh wow, Mick, you've got Johnny Winter's autograph. Now, see, I wish I got to meet Johnny Winter. He came down here. Let's see, what was it? I've lived here 15 years. He came down here the week that I moved into Northwest Arkansas, and of course, I was working overnights and I couldn't go. But he was supposed to come down here again. It would have been a great weekend too at the Harley Davidson place, because they had a stage next to the dealership, and it was going to be Johnny Winter I think it was either Johnny Winter the first night. No, Johnny Winter closed. Kate Brothers was the opener. And thanks to the jackass that owned the nursery across the street, I'm talking plants, not kids, we never got to see it because he bitched to the city council. And I think that's horseshit because most of the shows were done by 10:30 at night. Okay, so I don't know. But it's too late now. Nobody does it. Oh, okay, yeah. I had records. I showed up some records. It in blue. The only way you go off and the only way you were able to go off and get his autograph was you had to buy the record there that day. There was a line. This was really strange, which went to this tour bus, and Johnny was on the tour bus. Like I think he was on the steps, and he was signing that way. It was very unusual. Oh man. Hey, Crate, how you doing? I don't know. So let me show you a few finds. I thought I'd mention this much to you. There was this weekend was supposed to be half interesting, and unfortunately, it turned into a big bust. Now, I don't mean halt, it's the police. No, not that kind of bust. And I won't let the police into my home unless it's Sting, Andy Summers, and Stuart Copeland. But seriously, though, so the one part of the collection that ended up being a bunch of vinyl I just couldn't use. And I'm not against classical vinyl. Okay, I'm not. But yeah, the fact of the matter is that it was so beat up, there was just nothing I could do with it. I think I donated a little bit of it to my friends, and then the rest of it I had to make it disappear. So that was sad. But there might be a part 2 to that find where there is different, better quality material. So hopefully that'll be nice. And then the second collection, which was supposed to be part of a defunct radio station, that didn't happen yet due to any circumstances. Hopefully that'll happen real soon, though. Maybe in the spring is all I'm going to say about that one. Record Craig doing his greetings. See, that would be pretty cool, Greg. I thought I heard something about this, but I would love to hear that myself. Yeah, you know what? I would have loved to have seen Janice. I really, really would have. Janice just seemed like in such pain, such emotional pain. And then based on the autopsy of her, she had several abortions. Now, I'll throw allegedly out, but I cannot remember. I've read this in at least 2 sources. So School of Journalism back in the day, I know you got to have at least 3, but I remember hearing this in more than one story here. So supposedly over her lifetime, she had a couple abortions. She had venereal disease when she passed. And the other thing that I thought was pretty odd, okay. So, oh boy. The name is escaping me now. Oh, okay. I remember now. Bobby Womack. Okay. So Bobby Womack was a bit player in Sam Cooke's life back in the early 60s. Okay. Bobby Womack, after Sam Cooke's murder, yeah, I'm going to say murder, he was set up. There's a long story on that shit. But Bobby ended up marrying Sam's wife. Okay. So I thought that was odd. Secondly, flash forward 1970, the night of Janice's last hours. Bobby Womack was there in Janice's room. They were having a good time. They were yapping. They were actually talking about possibly in 71 collaborating together. And Bobby was the last person to see Janice alive because, of course, she was dead hours later. Was that coinkydink, or could there be more to it? Bobby's dead, of course, so we'll never know the answer, but it makes you wonder. You know what? That is right. She did hang out with Pigpen from the dead. You know who had some abortions and several miscarriages, at least one of which was caused by. Yeah, you know what? I also heard about this. I heard she had miscarriages before getting married to Lennon, and yeah. So, yep. And yeah, and you know what's really weird about that too, Greg, is that that little story didn't come out for quite some time in regards to him being the last one to see Janice alive. You know what? I have heard about that, the Harlem Square Club. I would love to catch and listen to that. Yeah, usually. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, you know, speaking of museums and such, over in Joliet, Illinois, for you Chicagoland people, they had a little tour. There was this, I want to say it was a 65, no, 65 feet doesn't sound right. Maybe it is. Gigantar, that's what they called it. It was a very big metal sculpture of a rock guitar. And it had its journey all across northern Illinois. I don't know where it was built. And it got driven, I don't know, down to Joliet. And they hooked it up to the Illinois Route 66 Rock and Roll Museum, all right, down in Joliet. And Rick Nielsen was there to flick the switch on the thing. Larry Milan and Jim Peterick from the Ides of March, and Jim being from Survivor, and other bands, they were there too, along with a handful of other musicians. And so I think that's neat. Now, I think when I get to, if it's all completed, that museum, I need to make a road trip to Joliet, not only to go to the museum, but to go to one of the final Rack's roast beef locations in the United States. Yes, I'm a foodie nerd, and there is one in Joliet, Illinois, and it's still going. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Record Crate says that that Janice's car was in the middle of the room, a little rope, no security. It was a blast. Did you take pictures? Just curious. That's cool. Record Crate used to hang from the ceiling in the Rock and Roll Fame in Cleveland back in the late 90s. Yipe. There was an earthquake. Ooh. I've been to the Rock and Roll. Sorry about that. Been to the Rock and Roll Fame. See, I would really like to go there. I mean, just to go to the museum. I personally think the whole damn thing's a sham, but that's my opinion. So, but yeah, so I did take pics. Crate says even took pics of the bottom of the car. Well, sure, there you go. Let's see, what pictures have I taken of famous automobiles? One of the Batmobiles, and the Back to the Future DeLorean. I have pictures. I'll have to bring them out someday about that. I got that in 2010 when I went to the Comic-Con in Chicago. All right. So I got some finds this week, and some gifts. I got a very nice gentleman decided to give me some gifts, which I thought was great. But let's get to some of the finds first. So today, Double CD found this for 50 cents. But before I show you what it is, museum part is amazing and ever changing. You should go if you if I'm ever over in Cleveland, I will. The last time I went there, they had Lennon's Blood Dry. Oh, geez. So the eyeglasses that were on the Seasons of Glass album cover from Yoko, that's the ones they had. That is jarring album. So I found 1939 to 1955 double CD, the Blue Note years, Boogie, Blues, and Bop. That's right. And for 50 cents, for 50 cents, I wasn't going to pass this up. In minty shape, by the way. But you got various people on here. Oh boy. So, Meade Lewis and Earl Hines, and let's see who else here. Of course, Monk, and I can't even read half of this. I am so sorry. Horace Silver and Art Blakely, whole bunch of things though. But for 50 cents, wasn't going to pass that up. That's a fact. Also, in the book department, Boys in the Trees, a memoir, Carly Simon. I didn't even know she put this out. So, this came out in 2015. Let's see if I can show. So let's see if we got a picture I can show you. My first band hits the road, clockwise from left. Carly, Jimmy Ryan, Andy Newmark, and Paul Glanz. So I'll be curious to read this. I like reading good music books. Okay, that's always good. Mike, I seen the piece at Give Peace a Chance guitar and handwritten. Oh, that's cool. That's very, very cool. Lennon's, oh man. Now, I haven't seen any of Lennon's lyrics. I got to see some of John Lennon's Bag One drawings back in 1988, 87, 88. That's how I was in the same room with Yoko. It was some art gallery in Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg, Illinois, of all places. So, and then for all you TV people, oh, hang on. See, I don't see that. I don't know why she would have done that. I thought I heard that she was having a fling with that Sam Hadavoy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, that would have been cool. Yes. So for $9.99, still sealed from Mill Creek, all 262 episodes from 11 seasons. Married with Children, the complete series. Yeah, for $9.99. Couldn't pass this up for the life of me. The only thing, one disc is loose in there, but my buddy Scott told me that the only thing that they really couldn't get was the Frank Sinatra singing Love and Marriage at the beginning of the episodes, because by that time Frank passed and they couldn't, they show it on the TV, no problem. But when they transferred it to this kind of stuff, they couldn't get the rights. So you hear Sheryl Crow's version from the 90s on that. Yoko is evil. I firmly believe that. Do you know that John not the first one that Yoko was trying to get to? She was trying to get to Paul first. That's true. Cannot read the source material on that. In the 70s, I know she was having a affair with David Spinoza during the Lost Weekend eras for Lennon. That's been mentioned in two different sources. I strongly feel she was deeply involved in Satanism and the cult. Well, maybe she was. I don't know. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to, because I haven't watched Married with Children in a handful of years. So to see all 11, I'll go chronological, and so for $9.99, getting the whole damn thing. And see, this is the thing though, okay? streaming is great for convenience. I'm a physical media guy. All right. I would rather have these complete series on the DVD. When I can watch them when I want. Streaming could disappear at any time. You guys have heard about this with Netflix and other people and things. But that's just me. Yeah. What was that? Alf? Alf the chauffeur, I think. Yeah. Oh boy. Who's the poison dwarf? So I was over, like I said, at my bestie's Donna Joe Cat Lady, her residence, because I was given some. I just got done with the new gold mine with the Ramones on the cover, and I gave her a couple DVDs. Oh, I got done with that first season, WKRP Cincinnati, the standalone season. I need to get the Shout Factory box, of course, but I figured, hey, I'm done with it. Let her watch it. Have some fun with it. So I'm talking about Kiss. That's right. And we were talking about like Donna saw him in 90, like I saw him in 90. She saw him in Tulsa indoors, and I saw them in Alpine Valley in East Troy, Wisconsin. And it was the same lineup. It was supposed to be the greatest show on earth. So you've got Kiss, Winger, Slaughter, Faster Pussycat. Okay, that was the lineup. Enough's Enough was actually briefly attached to that bill, but Enough's Enough did not appear. I don't know if that was, I think it was a last minute cancellation on that. So the thing is that her roommate's BF heard this about me being a Kiss fan, goes into the room and brings me out these. And I was like, I did not expect these. I was so good. Rodney's an awesome dude. He really, really is. So I had these brand new back in the day, but I sold them or I gave them away back. I can't remember. So I've got volume 1 of Kissology back again on DVD in all nice shape. So this is your 74 to 77 Kiss for volume 1. Okay. So just to give you examples, you get Acrobat, which of course was the Long Beach in February 74, ABC's In Concert for March 74, the Mike Douglas Show appearance in April 74, Winterland January 75, Midnight Special April 75, Kiss Alive promo clips, documentary Cadillac, Michigan, October 75, Cobo Hall, January 76. That's disc 1. Disc 2, So It Goes, which was a TV show, if I remember right, August of 76. The Paul Lynde Halloween special from October 76. Budokan Hall, April 77. Don Kirshner Rock Concert, May 77. Finished by The Summit from September of 77. So really happy to have that back. Oh, so it wasn't Alf. He was gone by then. Les Anthony was John's chauffeur. Oh, okay. My connection's buffering. Well, I'm sorry. Like I said, this is what we play with for a little while longer. I'm getting a tablet coming by Saturday, and I'm going to see. I'm going to look at it, do a test broadcast with the tablet. Now, why am I doing that? Because the tablet should have, based on what I read, there was good reviews, a better processor. Okay. Remember, this is 5-6 years old, this laptop. So we're going to try and do a wireless broadcast with the tablet. We'll see. So also, yes, I know you hate Kiss, Mike. I know. AZ Mix says he's got this set. So then he gives me Kissology Volume 3. That's right. This here from 92 to 2000. And I had this back in the day too. So this one here, you got 4 discs on this. First, of course, is from Auburn Hills, October 92, MTV Unplugged, Behind the Scenes, and the performance in 95. Disc 2 at Tiger Stadium, Detroit, June 96. Of course, they're all back together again. Then MTV. Oh, Lord, this is small print. Oh, on the Brooklyn Bridge. All right. Then Dodger Stadium. That's disc 2. Disc 3 is Dodger Stadium continued, it looks like. Followed by Detroit Rock City Premiere Party from 99. This is where all the cracks started to show in the original lineups reunion era. Okay. A lot of animosity happened around the Psycho Circus album till the end when they kind of, Ace and Peter left again. The Last Kiss, that one, East Rutherford, New Jersey. And then you got disc 4, which is, what that? Oh, okay. Disc 4 is interesting. It's Coventry from Queens, New York, that back in December 73. So that's what you got for disc 3. So I need to find Kissology Volume 2. And you sold a Frank Sinatra record to Bruce Kulick. That is interesting. That is interesting. I would love to meet Bruce. The closest I ever got to meeting Bruce was in the mid 90s. There was a Kiss convention in Elgin, Illinois, before, of course, Kiss did their version of conventions. And Bruce Kulick and Mark St. John were there same weekend in that venue. I wanted to meet both of them. Yes, thank you. Hopefully it's going to work out for everybody, I hope. Yeah. Yes. Really, I would not have put him to being a Sinatra fan, but I mean, a lot of people were Sinatra fans. I still like the story about what was it? Oh, geez, was it Ringo got Frank Sinatra to do acetate for Maureen for her birthday? I think so. I could have. I think it was him doing something or something. I don't know. Yes, I know, Mike. Disco stinks. Some disco I like. If it's 4 on the floor soul RB disco, like the hot chocolate, everyone's a winner. I love that kind of stuff. Disco was disco, right? But let's face it, if you either grew up with this or, what do they always say, that if you didn't, you weren't there. Oh, you weren't there if you remembered it. Okay, fine. But I do remember disco. All right. Oh yeah. Thank you. I like the Snoopy mug too. So, I mean, yeah, Saturday Night Fever all over the damn place. Okay. Not a big fan of the damn movie, but the soundtrack is really pretty good. It really, really is. And it sold a shit ton back in 77. I'll tell you, what was it, 77, 78? RSO records could do no wrong. You're talking about, imagine the combined record sales of Saturday Night Fever and Grease, and both being John Travolta movies. I mean, you swing from disco in 77 to a la 50s feel in 78. I mean, that's a story I wouldn't mind watching. Is RSOs, if there ever anybody did a documentary on RSO records. That's Robert Stigwood's label, of course. And Robert Stigwood was this close to being considered to being manager of the Beatles after Brian's death. This close. I don't know if they would have been ripped off as much, because I don't know Stigwood's character, okay? But, I mean, would Stigwood have been able to do Alan Klein type deals, to better the financial future of the Beatles? I don't know. Obviously, we've talked about the Beatles ad nauseum before, but, if Stigwood was manager, it's another one of those woulda, coulda, shouldas. But if I remember correctly, I mean, I think it was like by 80 or 81, I think RSO was dead in the water, So it's like, what happened? Was it typical abuse, like AKA Casablanca Records, which there's a movie on Casablanca I want to see. I really, really do. Talk about a label that was so fueled by cocaine and bad decisions, good decisions. If Kiss wasn't there, the label wouldn't have lasted I think they were around 9 years, 73 to 82. And for collectability, there in 83, there was Casablanca still was in parts of the world. I've seen photos of a Casablanca labeled Lick It Up Kiss album from 83. So it went that far, and then the whole thing shut down for Polydor. I like late 60s, early 70s soul and funk. Disco's basically newer funk, and I love it. Like I said, I like some of it. I don't mind. I can't hear it all the time, but I don't mind, like the Rolling Stones' Miss You. That's discofied. That's okay. I just don't want to hear it all the time. One song that never gets old for me, though, Grateful Dead Shakedown Street. That's about as close as you're going to see the Dead doing disco. And it's just a good song from beginning to end. After Epstein died, Alan Klein was heard to whoop it up. I've got them both now, meaning the Stones and the Beatles. Well, Klein was a dick anyway. She don't lie. Cocaine. Crate, thank you for bringing that up, because let's talk about that for a second. I normally don't talk about sub counts. I'm going to leave your comment up here for a second about the 900. Okay. So, I am super duper close to 900, but here's what happened. All right. The Vinyl Tag 2023 is what happened. And by the way, I am so sorry. I forgot to bring this up. New subs, Louis Golden and Near Wild Heaven. There is more, but I didn't have a chance to write lists. So next episode, I'll play catch up. So Louis Golden, Near Wild Heaven, go sub those channels, okay? But courtesy of the Vinyl Tag of 2023, I started exploring some of the newer channels and, of course, some of the older ones. I've seen a lot of great tag videos, okay? And if you haven't seen mine, please take the time to check it out, even for a few minutes. I think you'll be entertained. So I got up to about 897, almost 898. This was earlier in the week. And those YouTube assholes struck me down by about, they knocked me off 6-7 subscribers overnight. And I'm going, what the holy hell? There's no way that they all could have been bots. I don't play the bot game, okay? These people that I know that subbed were real people. I don't mess with that junk. I just don't. Yeah, Emotional Rescue. I'm not a big fan of that album. I tried. I mean, I remember that was like the first Stones album that I saw in the cutout bin. Oh, dear Lord, please stop. Don't. Yeah, I know. Just don't do it. White Lines, don't do it. But Emotional Rescue. Like I said, I remember seeing that in the cutout bins, like real cheap, and I'm like, and I'd say that was within 6 months after that album came out. And then I think the only other Stones album I remember seeing in a cutout bin was Metamorphosis. Even around 1980, I saw copies of Metamorphosis. And that's a good record. Okay. That's the one thing I'll thank Alan Klein for, but that's the only thing I'm going to thank Alan Klein for, is even though he did it against the Rolling Stones' wishes, that we got Metamorphosis, that album. So we got a sneak peek into 60 Stones outtakes. Now, if the people running that company, and I don't know who's running APCO now, but if they could just pry it open a little bit so we could get some more, I would really love. Yes, we want to be nice around here, okay? I am the VC Switzerland. Your lady who? No, never mind. See, that's not it. That's not it. I forgot that's not Switzerland. I don't have, that's my bad. Shit. I'm going to be in the, see, Black and Blue is a really good record. It's also a transitional record, if you think about it, because you're going from Mick Taylor era to Ronnie Wood era with a couple cool guitarists, guest guitarists in between, you know. Awesome. Black and Blue is a good record. Mr. Buffer said, at least it's not as bad as it was a week ago. So let me see if I can do this like Sean Connery. Precoat must fancy himself a comedian. Moneypenny, get me my my favorite Stones area is the, and okay, so I've brought this up before. I think okay, so Beggar's Banquet to Goat's Head Soup is like, you could do no wrong with those albums. Seriously. Yeah, oh boy, no fights. Yeah, I know I froze. Like I said, it's not as bad as it was previously. Oh, all right now. All right. Mike and Dilbert. Now. Hey, Craig, thanks for coming on by. That's right. You know, that's funny, Dave. You read my mind. I was just going to mention that Harvey Mandel does play, like, I think, what, 2 cuts on Black and Blue, I think? All right, guys, both of you, break it up. This is my broadcast. My broadcast. So, anyways, another piece of news that came to my attention just several days ago, actually, and I so want to go to this concert. You know, in mid-August, here in town, opener, Lamb of God, headliner, the Pantera. That's right. So you've got Phil and Rex from the original band, Zakk Wylde on guitar. I would love to see Zakk Wylde. I have never seen Zakk Wylde in action. And Charlie Batant from Anthrax. So I'm afraid to see what the tickets are going to cost. Tickets go on sale Friday at noon. Oh boy. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. Obviously, you know, I don't want lawn. God, I don't want lawn. I want seats. We'll see. So I don't really, geez, I guess, you know, I didn't have very much to say on material today, and I apologize about this. But yeah, I'll agree with you on that, Mike, that you don't go to hardly anybody worth seeing, and it's way too expensive. Well, we have free concerts from Rail Yard Live, which is downtown Rogers. I am trying to get Black Oak, Arkansas to play here. I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, it's a tribute band. Yes, it's Jim Dandy and a bunch of newer musicians. They got a new album coming out, by the way, supposedly in the spring. Cleopatra Records, I think, is still their record label. It's going to be a covers album, but some of the tapes, I guess, are going to go back. Ricky Lee Reynolds, another original member, supposedly makes an appearance on 1 or 2 tracks. You've got 80s drummer Johnny Corville, who kept going in and out of the band since then. You got Johnny Boland, Tommy's brother, who was a mainstay in Black Oak as a drummer from also the 80s to just a couple of years ago. All of them may be making appearances on this new Black Oak album. I have a sneaky feeling it's going to be the last Black Oak album that will come out. There's a thing here that happens in Cookeville in the summer. Last year they had a Fleetwood Mac. They do have a lot of tribute bands. And, you know, now that Christine has passed away, let's see, 20 bucks. They do have have a section with actual chairs and stuff for 20 bucks. The free tickets, you bring your own lawn chair. Okay. And I'm good with that. And the fun part about it is that if it's anybody semi-recognizable, there's a little merch center there, and you can usually meet the musicians. That's how I met Trout Fishing in America in August. And that's how I met the Cape Brothers Band in April and got them to sign their 70s vinyl. So I was kind of happy about those. I had a great time. Yeah, $20 your speed living on SS. I get that. I mean, I'm not on that yet. I don't know if I'll ever make it to Social Security, but I am a very frugal. Frugal. Would frugal sound right? I can't afford a hell of a lot, kids. I just can't, and I want to, but it is what it is. That's why I shop the resale shops, the thrift shops, the mom and pop joints. Sometimes some antique mall booths will be a bargain. Most of the time it's overpriced vinyl or CDs. It's ridiculous. But sometimes I can find some decent things. Yes, see, then I could be the whore vinyl collector, and I could call myself the frugal gourmet. That was horrible. That was really horrible, wasn't it? I don't know. The only other concert at the big place that's coming up in the summer that was half interesting to me. And if I'm going with Donna Joe Cat Lady and friends, it's not because of the headliner. The headliner is Foreigner's farewell tour, okay? So let's face it, if anybody has seen Foreigner the last couple of years, or at least since the reunion, 40th reunion in 1718, since that ended, it went back to what it was. Mick Jones I'm told Mick Jones sometimes doesn't show up at all. Sometimes he only does 3 or 4 songs. And I'm like, at least they're admitting it's time to pack it in. Even Kelly Hansen, who has been the singer of Foreigner since 2005, he went off and admitted that he can't reach the high notes anymore, and he thinks it's time for him to go. And some of you people may remember Kelly Hansen being the lead singer of Hurricane it was the brother of Rudy Sarzo was in Hurricane also. I want to say Bob Sarzo. I'm probably wrong on that. But so, I mean, if they're admitting finally that it's time to go, then it's time to go, you know. I sometimes kind of wish, because it's the farewell concerts, that Lou Gramm would at least make a mild appearance for a couple tunes apiece. That would be sweet to at least get your Lou Gramm, Mick Jones fix, you know. That would kind of show a respect. Yeah, I know. I know they have become a joke, and it's sad. It really, really is sad. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Normally I would also have put an invite in, but well, you know, Invisible Ray is Invisible Ray. I'm not a big fan of Invisible Ray, to be honest with you, Mike. He didn't like it that I dished it back out to him once, so he got all pissy. He probably doesn't remember. That was about a year or 2 back, but I'm like, I won't put up with anybody's bullshit. That's just all there is to it. Like I said, no shenanigans. Well, she's not here today, but no shenanigans, no drama. This is my place, my channel. Yeah, see, here we go. Yeah, I was just gonna say that actually. A certain someone's toupee. I like the name of that. That's great. I unfortunately have got, well, not unfortunately, I have got natural hair. Yes, I am glad that my daddy gave me that gene. That is for sure. Who were the geeks in the VC? ZZ Top, Leonard Skinner, Hank Jr., Old Crow Medicine Show. How are you now? Now, see, the ZZ Leonard, I mean, okay. I heard Billy and Frank and what's his name? Elwood? The bass player now. The guy who was Dusty's tech. I heard Elwood does a decent job. And I heard Leonard as a tribute band does a decent job. It's just, to me, I'm like, Skinner should have probably packed it in my opinion, when Billy Powell died, maybe even shortly before then. They probably should have packed it in when Leon Wilkinson died, which I think was what, 99, 2000, I think. They should have just done it in, but they kept trying to rake in the money. And yeah, well, see, that's what I'm saying, Mike. When he starts talking racist, I won't put up with it. I mean, that's all there is to it. I won't put up with anybody's bullshit with the whole racist and everything else like that. If anybody wants to, I'm not a fan of, I'm not saying kumbaya, peace and love and all that, all right? Although, like I said, on this channel, that's what I want, because we're here to talk about music, pop culture, other things, okay? But I don't want to talk about, I don't want to slag off people, whether they deserve it or not. That's for somebody else. Yeah, Skinner has no original members. Another joke tribute band. Well, technically, Dave, Ricky Medlock actually is an original member, but he only was on the Skinner's album First and Last because I think it was 1971, 72. Ricky Medlock and Greg T. Walker from, of course, Blackfoot, they were technically original members of Skinner. That's right. So it's like, but Greg Walker hasn't, milked that. Blackfoot is a tribute band. Don't go see that if Blackfoot comes around to your neighborhood, because Medlock has no live involvement with that band either. You know what? You probably are. Well, okay. I get what you're saying, but I actually do like the Lynyrd Skynyrd 1991 album. They should have packed it in after that tour. Okay. Yes. He is still alive, thank God. I guess there was a health scare a week or two ago for Rossington. But yeah, he's the last one. The last one. And it's just like, I heard a lot of behind the scenes stuff about him and Dale, his wife. I don't know how true it is, but like I heard they're the ones that shut King out when he got better. They took a medical leave, tried to go back into the band, and they wouldn't let Ed back in. I'm like, well, wait a minute, what the hell? Ed was on "Give Me Back My Bullets" and one from the Road and Street Survivors. I'm like, to me, he's a classic lineup member, just like Artemis Pyle. I guess from what I heard, they did Artemis dirty too. At least Artemis is still out there. Oh, you got to see Blackfoot with Ricky in the 80s. Okay. Did you see them, Dave, with or without Ken Hensley? Because I know Ken from Uriah Heep played keyboards for I think he was on 2 albums with Blackfoot and 2 tours. And then he was gone. They made a pact legally that, right. I know, right? I don't know how they got away with it. I really, really don't. Ed King was an excellent guitarist. It's just really funny, though, to go from Strawberry Alarm Clock to Skinner. I'm like, all right. Yeah. No. There's just, oh boy. We could sit all night talking about this, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I mean, there was some excellent Southern rock bands in the 70s, early 80s. Oh, God, was there. And Skinner, to me, is probably king of the 70s Southern rock genre. Yes, there was other great bands. You had Molly Hatchet. You had the Outlaws. You had, Black Oak. Black Oak, sometimes some people call it Southern Boogie, which I could see that, but I throw them into Southern rock also. Although by the time 77, 78, when Dandy and company landed on Capricorn, they were just called Black Oak because he was trying to get away from the Southernness. I really wish there would have been, I'll tell you who I think was a great guitarist for Black Oak. They always seem to find great guitar players for that band. I mean, on YouTube, they've shown live clips with this gentleman, And I know he was pretty crazy, and he really didn't match Black Oak's style, but we're talking about as a teenager, Mr. Sean Lane. Sean Lane was something else. Oh boy, if you don't know who I'm talking about, go check out, just put Black Oak, Arkansas with Sean Lane, and you're going to see some live clips. That's all there is. Supposedly, they did go into the studio between 78 and 82. That's when Sean was in the band, but he was gone by the Ready as Hell album, so that's why he's not on there. But I'm led to believe that he recorded at least a handful of songs, with the late 70s, early 80s lineup of Black Oak. I don't know how true that is. He ends up making an appearance on the last album from 2020, Underdog Heroes. You'll have to forgive me. I don't remember what the song is called, but it's the last song on side 2. So you could get a taste of what he sounded like. That's true too. That is also absolute true. I have read several different books from personal Skinner insiders. What exactly be the word that rhymes with? Oh, all right. What did I say, you two? I don't mind you two being here. Just, I don't want nonsense. Yes. I actually have an original press on Sounds of the South. I do have that album. The first 2 albums, that and Second Helping, were both on the Sounds of the South branch from Al Cooper for MCA. Saw him at a festival with Nugent Blackfoot, Jay Giles, Scorp. Oh my God. Oh, I would have loved that. Oh shit, what a lineup. See, you're talking 80. You are talking 1980, because that's when that first Def Leppard came out. And that first album doesn't get much love. All right, I'm Through the Night. It really doesn't. But there's some good stuff on that record. But I mean, okay, so let's go back for a second here. So 1980, Nuge at 80 just got done doing, was that Scream Dream? Intensities, Intense Cities? I can't remember which album that was that came out around that time. And then you got Blackfoot, who's still a very good band at that time. Train was only a year or 2 old. Jay Giles, of course. I think the Sanctuary album came out in that year. So this is pre-Love. This is pre-Love Stinks and Centerfold and all the other stuff. And then Scorpions. That would be what? Oh man. Animal Magnetism. I think that's the album that came out in 80. Their RCA stuff is really good, but their early Mercury stuff is great too. Because Blackout came out in 82, I think. Hey, Malia has entered in. Malia, just letting you know, by the way, I brought this up earlier that there is going to be a 4-state record show coming to Springfield, Missouri in March. Scream Dream, thank you. I knew it was one of the 2. And so there possibly could be a handful of YouTubers. We may have we may meet up at the 4-state record show and have a mini summit, and then possibly maybe Lambert's for a late lunch, early supper. Yeah, he went on with the loincloth. Yeah, no surprise on that one. Waxed, okay. He is very intelligent. I know I sometimes on Rachel's channel, I'll take what they call it, take the piss out of Waxed, but as long as he doesn't get too snarky, I'm all right with him. Hey Flash, how you doing? Yeah, see, right? I think it's a Saturday. I'll have to remember what. All right. Oh, good. Okay, so emailing for you people over there, good. No, sideways, really. But yeah, so that would be neat. Get Malia in on the party too, because I think right now we're looking at possibly Concert Buddy, Miss 80s, maybe you. I think there's one or two other people in Missouri that I can't. So, I mean, we may all just meet over there. Well, hopefully, it'll be a nice day. I think it's in mid March. I think so. Uh, Flash, I don't know about me rocking. I try to keep this entertained without too much bullshit mixed in. You know, I jokingly go off and bring up that my future endeavors to be a future E-list celebrity. But you know, I'm not gonna lie, I like being here on YouTube. I oh my. Oh. Yeah, well, like I said, he can get snarky. Speaking of, I got a record. So when I will show the record when it gets here. Yeah, that sucks. That's my goal, Malia. Yes, so okay, so far the lineup at the moment could be me, Mighty Psycho, my bestie Donna Joe Cat Lady, who is subscribed to this channel. She has commented on this channel. She's not big for making. I've told her, why don't you make a channel? She won't do it. I understand why though. Okay, she really is my bestie, my Arkansas bestie. She's a beautiful woman. I love her. I do love her. I love her as a friend, and I love her as a human being. I do. So her friends, you know, will be bringing new people into this too for the record show. Donna is also a vinyl collector too, and then so let's see. So yeah, those Concert Buddy, Miss 80s, maybe me, maybe. Well, I already said Mary. Maybe you, Malia, and whoever else you know that's on here. Maybe we all can congregate for one part of a day in Springfield, Missouri, in mid-March. I do want to go to one of the Tulsa record shows. I know that's a little bit out of the way for some people, but I do want to appear at a Tulsa. You could be the let's see. Hang on a minute. I'm going to do a bad Don Pardo here as all my 18 viewers leave me. Please don't leave me. Hang on. I miss Don Pardo, by the way. Like, okay, here, let's throw a scenario. I always came up with a joking game show called Name That Stain. We'll talk about what that is another time. But Don Pardo, tell them what they win on Name That Stain. That's right, everybody. That's right, Paul. Though they happen to furnish the prizes, they get a box of turtle wax. Just don't wax your turtle and abuse it too much with a case of turtle wax. Also, a box of rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat, some Hostess ding-dongs, and a home version of Name That Stain. Back to you, Paul. Thanks, Don Pardo. I'm horrible. I know I'm fucking horrible. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It is almost 3 hours, isn't it? I was guessing two and a half. That was my guess. Dusty, of course, for the show. You see that. You know what, Dusty? I am so sorry. I wish my internet was better. Oh, look at this. 2 hours, 6. You've never been this. Okay. Well, there is a handful of record stores in Springfield also, along with a bunch of resale shops. But you know what? I've really never found anything in the resale shops. Antique Mall, on the other hand, yes, I ended up finding a first pressing of the first Kiss album, the one without Kissing Time. I found that slightly outside of Springfield, Missouri. Monkey Wax. Wait a minute, Monkey Shines. That was a bootleg album for the Monkees. A box of monkey wax. You can wax your favorite monkey, Davy, Mickey, Peter, or Mike. Here you come with a box of monkey wax. Back to you, Paul. I'm fucked in the noggin. That's all I can say. Yeah, I know. Oh boy, here I come. Of course it figures monkeys, damn it. And when I'm at that record show too, by the way, there's certain things I'm looking for from the monkeys. If you guys saw my Vinyl Tag 2023, hint, I brought up about how, as far as I have the original 9 Cold Gems LPs along with the reunion stuff. I've got Pool It, Justice. I need Justice on vinyl. I know it never really came out on vinyl, but it's been reissued on vinyl. I need Justice. And I got Good Times and the 10-inch Good Time EP, the leftover stuff. I need to get Monkey's Christmas Party on vinyl, even though that's really not a Monkees record in my opinion. And the Mike and Mickey Show, which seems to be a hard time. But what I really am looking for is a mono Birds, Bees, Monkeys, which that's not going to be cheap. And I need Monkees Golden Hits and Barrel Full of Monkeys. And after I get those, then yeah, I'll have a complete collection if we're not counting the cereal box records, because I'm still looking for the yeah. Thank you. Oh boy, 12 months for the stealing the calendar bid, huh? Don't be smarmy. You know what? It's almost too late now. You know, the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame, they pissed me off. They really pissed me off. Hey, you know what though? Joe, let me leave you up here for a second. Did you see on Facebook, at least, that there's some company that is like, okay, they got a hold of bricks of the cavern. Okay, now this is the original cavern. How long, when did they get the bricks? I'm told when it was what, 1973? I think was when the original cavern got torn down. So supposedly somebody grabbed some of the bricks and they're slicing off bits of the bricks and putting them in a case, with a picture of some of the Beatles. $29 is how much I'm seeing for. I don't ask me about the authentication. Just, have you seen this? It only popped my feed today, which I thought was weird. Maybe it's because a 50th anniversary thing for the bricks. I don't know, but I mean, obviously, if it really is one of the bricks of the cavern, and it's only a sliver of the brick, it's only $29 in shipping. I don't know. I mean, I might get that. I remember when I can't remember. This was in the 80s. Somebody had a handful of cavern bricks, and I couldn't afford any of that stuff. I mean, it'd be nice because you'd have a piece of rock and roll history right there. It's just like somebody is selling, and it was certified and authenticated by Artie Kornfeld. I hope I'm pronouncing that. A piece of the stage from Woodstock is in the middle of this peace necklace. They've been selling those, but I can't remember how much that costs. Dave, I remember that joke. You got to come up with some newer material, buddy, because I'll do the Rodney thing, but I want some new ones. Hey, I'll tell you. Let's see. But you own the Monkees' second album. I'm set. Don't need him. Well, the second album, it's the poppy stuff. The first 2 albums are the poppy stuff. I got a little taste of what Headquarters could have turned into if Kirshner didn't get booted out. There's a track that was recorded early in the timeline. It was after the More of the Monkees, but before the independence of the band. And it's on YouTube, and it's Davey singing, I could learn to play the violin, or if I could play the violin, that's what it's called, or something like that. Pretty saccharine stuff. Ugh. I'm glad that didn't end up having that. Dave, I'm going to buy you a joke book for Christmas. You know, around here somewhere, I found it at a used bookstore for like $1. It was Milton Berle's joke file. Oh my God, Uncle Milty and his old jokes. They did. They did. Well, let's see. I know that for the first and the second albums, Mike and or Peter are barely on instrumentation. You're right. The Wrecking Crew is all over the two albums, but Mike had a little more pull than Peter, but that didn't sound right. But anyways, so that's how Nez does end up. I think on a track on each album, he does a little instrumentation. But yeah, you're right. That's Mickey Dolenz poured a beer on Kirshner's head. Yeah, I heard that, and of course the good old Mike putting his fist through the wall, saying, "This could have been your face, mother." Yeah. You know what? You're right. A piece of the original Ryman stage. If I was going to go to Nashville, do they still have the original Grand Ole Opry building? I know that they moved, 1974? I want to say is when they moved to the new building. I would like, if I was still going to be in Nashville, I actually know a friend of mine now that's moved to Nashville. So maybe I have an excuse. I could spend a night or two in their house. But is the original Ryman still there? And is it a museum? I thought I heard that it's a museum. Let me know in the comments. One of the only other things that I would love to go down to Shreveport, Louisiana, because like I said, I have no desire to see New Orleans anymore since Fats has died. But I would love to go to Shreveport to go to the Louisiana Hayride building. I heard that's a museum. You can get into that building and look around and see the stage. And I'm like, lots of talent back in the 40s, 50s, maybe on the cusp of 1960. I think they might have still done radio shows. I could be wrong on that. See, so then that's right. That's right. Oh, only 90 minutes from you, huh? Yeah, if you get out there, I'll have to torture you. But, oh, that'd be fun. Lynchburg, Tennessee. Is it still a tri-county in Lynchburg? Oh, boy. I think that's so funny that Jack Daniels in the middle of this tri-county makes this whiskey. All right. So I am going to have to kind of wind this down because I have to go take my kid to work. And I need to stop at the grocery store for 2 minutes to try to grab a couple things, just some small necessities for this possible BS storm we are supposed to be getting starting around noon tomorrow, going all the way into Wednesday. If, like I always tell my management, I open up the door at 6:30 in the morning. Whatever it looks like at 6:30 in the morning is how I play my day. So if it turns out that at 6:30 in the morning, it's snowing like a son of a bitch, I'm not going in. I've got some time. I could call in, I guess, but I don't want to, but I may have to. And so if that's the case, I might do a show on Wednesday for the hell of it. I have other stuff I could show you guys and we could talk. Listen, thank you, Joe. Always good to see you. Your channel is excellent. Malia, you are a beautiful soul. You really, really are. I hope we all can hang in March. That would be beautiful. Yes, I never understood that either. You know what, Toupee? Glad to have you here too. That's an interesting. I like that. You guys just take care. God bless. Rock on. And as usual, you know what, Mike? It is what it is, you know, the silliness stuff. Thank you, Walrus. Always powered by coffee each and every time. You guys take care. I love you all. I really, really do. And go look at those vinyl